Thank you so much. As a quote-unquote private citizen, Hillary Clinton didn't have to weigh in publicly on this conflict, but she did. 2 weeks after we first learned of the alleged chemical weapon attack. Political analyst and former press secretary to the Clinton administration, Dee Myers, joins me now. Why today, and why wait 2 weeks to speak out?
Well, today because she was at a public event, and it was...
That she was previously scheduled to be at.
That she was previously scheduled to be at, and she has another one tomorrow or the next day, so it was clear that she was going to have to say something. She can't walk into the White House in the middle of this conversation as the former Secretary of State and not say anything. It would have been odd. So that's why now. And I think, look, I think she did give credibility to two things. One, she said that if you can get the Syrians to give up their chemical weapons, right, that's a good option. Now, that's the objective of all this anyway. And the second thing she said was this wouldn't have happened without a credible threat of a strike. Obviously, Assad is listening to what's being discussed here. He's taking seriously the threat that he may see some missiles coming his way soon, and he'd like to stop that.
How do you think the presidential messaging has been on this? I've heard from Democrats and Republicans distressed, people who want to support President Obama on this action in Syria, but who have been very wary about how the president has handled it. First, of course, you had the red line, whether or not it was an accidental statement or not, a year ago. Then you had President Obama suddenly deciding, we looked like we were about to attack, but he suddenly decided he wanted to bring Congress involved. Can you understand why some members of Congress want to support him on this but aren't there yet because of the public messaging?
Well, I think, they definitely had some rough spots in the previous days, particularly around the president's decision to take this to Congress. I think since then they have increasingly brought their forces together, gotten focused, built a campaign, which we're seeing, today. The president will be talking to 6 news anchors. Tomorrow he'll be addressing the nation. We've seen a full court press up on Capitol Hill, private meetings with lawmakers, which I think have been effective. And I think that the White House feels that the private meetings have been effective, and they've been able to get into more detailed intelligence, talk to them about what the objectives are here. Now, the public messaging is starting to catch up with that, and I think that's important and that's good. But it's been tough. It's a tough case to make.
But the American people believe that Assad was responsible,
right,
and still don't want the U.S. to get involved. What can he tell Wolf Blitzer, and what can he say in tomorrow night's speech that will change minds?
I think he just has to keep making the case. And look, the public may not be 100% behind this if the president decides to do it. That's what leadership takes. Sometimes you've got to take the action and bring the public along and convince them in the process that it was worth doing, that it was important, that the results, speak for themselves. That's what he's going to have to do in this case. He's not going to get from 39% to a majority in the next few days. That's not going to happen. But I think he needs to show the public that he's thinking about this, that he has a strong reason for doing it, and assure them that he's on it, and to bring Congress along, do it. We don't know what's going to happen. There's still a huge variety of outcomes that are possible in the coming days and weeks. But I think the president's got to lead.
What does this remind you of from the Clinton years, if anything? Obviously, there were a number of military interventions there, plus ones where President Clinton did not get involved, such as Rwanda, that he later expressed regret for.
Right, and they're all different, right? It's really hard. You're always comparing apples to oranges in these situations. But I think the president learned over time that American force,
President
Clinton, I'm sorry,
yeah.
America's force and America's voice could be used together to great effect, and that we didn't use it. That was sometimes when he had the regret. He has said repeatedly that the not intervening in the genocide in Rwanda is perhaps his greatest regret as president. He went on to intervene in Kosovo to very good effect, and that wasn't something that was going to be hugely popular with the American public either. But I think as we look back at that, it was not only the right thing to do, politically it was the right thing to do morally. And so sometimes presidents have to lead. They've got to bring the country along, and for President Obama, this is one such case.
And in fact, the House of Representatives, Republican at the time, voted against continuing the mission in that area and the NATO mission. Dee Myers, thank you so much. Appreciate it.